Okay, welcome everybody to our social media workshop stage 2. Hope everyone's okay at home. Simon Jones, our clubs and league development manager, is with us, and also the social media guru. How are you, Simon?
Very well, thanks. Hope everyone's out there in cricket land. Hope everyone's well out there in cricket land.
And yeah, so I think everyone's getting a bit bored at home now, but we're doing okay. We're trying today just to talk about social media, and this is aimed at clubs. Hopefully you're on the right one, but aimed at clubs who have got social media, use it quite a lot, and we're just seeing if we can help to enhance that. I think it's key to point out that both myself and Simon are not social media experts. We would not be getting paid for this service, but we do use it daily, and we have seen some things that have helped us over the last year, 18 months, that have got more interaction, have got more engagement. So we just wanted to share that. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yes, I think we started this journey with Hampshire Cricket Board back at the end of 2012 when I sat down at the cold afternoon at the Aegeus Bowl with the then press officer, Simon Vincent, and we set up Twitter and Facebook then, I think it was. We have YouTube as well, which we haven't used as much and need to use more. And we have Instagram, which we've sort of worked on over the last year with the help of one of our younger coaches who's probably less than half my age and knows a lot more about it than I do. And I think we have upwards of 8,000 followers across those 4 channels now.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about how to enhance your social media. So all of the things that you do, just how to ramp it up a little bit and how to get more engagement. So things like using Facebook Live, setting up events, Instagram Live as well, how to promote and use adverts to sell products, but also to sell things that you're doing, how to get more members, how to get your posts seen more widely across the community. Something Facebook stories and Instagram stories that's really taken off in the last year. And then just a little bit about what's the perfect Facebook, Twitter, Instagram post.
Sounds good.
The stats about social media. So a hell of a lot of people use it across the world. 45% of the population, growing population amongst the growing usage amongst the older population. 73% of businesses believe that it's the right place to be and it's been effective for their business. And 71% of consumers use social media to tell people about their positive experience and recommend products. The most important thing that's happened recently is the fact that we've all moved towards using social media on our phones, and the posts that we have to put on have to look slightly different. So we have to take consideration for the fact that it's going to be seen on a smaller screen, and that we get a little preview of that, don't we, Simon, when we set things up?
That's right. So we can see how posts are going to look on mobile, where the text goes, where you start a new line, so that if you're wanting someone to go through to a link, if that's really important, or the main subject is in the 3rd line, you want to see that appearing as people scroll through it.
Oh, sorry, just lost our screen. Let me go back. Okay. So why now? I think it's more important than ever to be using our social media to connect with people. We can't see people face to face, so we have to be using it to communicate with our community, our clubs, but also the wider community, and seen some really good examples of clubs doing that. People are spending 20% more time using apps during the lockdown. Social media has always been the place to talk, but now it's the only place to talk, and it's a really important channel for companies to use, but also for cricket clubs. And at times like these, connections are more important than other. And we spoke about a couple of clubs who are doing it really well, Simon.
Yes, certainly. In these times, then clubs are looking for ways to stay connected with their community, and given the financial shortfalls that we know are coming through lack of matches, income, etc., social bar income, fundraising income. One club, for example, Hook and Newnham, have started a GoFundMe campaign, which they were aiming to raise £5,000, which they think they will need, as well as all the other aid out there, to maybe get them through the season. And they promoted this by reactivated social media channels, and they already have raised £2,500. So that's like a real tangible benefit. The other thing we're seeing loads of is social media being used to promote virtual quizzes, virtual meetings, possibly stuff that we should have been doing before anyway, but now everyone all of a sudden knows what Zoom is. People are using Microsoft Teams and various other applications to kind of stay connected.
We use three main platforms for day to day: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and they've all got benefits. They've all got a few negatives as well. Facebook, massive usage across the UK, 44 million users. Average age is now 40, so that's rising every year. Less and less being used amongst the younger population. Really good for adding status updates. We can include photos and videos. We've started using events, milestones, polls, quizzes, and we'll come on to those in a second. It's a really good sharing. So lots of things that we put on there have been shared, and that's a good way of gaining engagement. It also links to our Instagram account, so if we only have to post once, and it gets put straight onto Instagram, and we can use some targeted advertising, and we'll talk about in a second. Twitter, used a lot by cricket clubs. I think you had a number of clubs that we've got on there, Simon.
That's right. One nice function in Twitter is that rather scrolling through all your followers, you can put people in lists. So our clubs list is probably one of our biggest ones. We know that we have 140 clubs who affiliate to us as Hampshire Cricket Board. We've got a list of 178 club accounts in Hampshire, and you can see who those members are. You can share that list or subscribe to it, and you can then just see all the posts that all clubs are making. I also do it for leagues around the country, and that has been really useful in finding out information from both leagues and cricket boards in the kind of assistance they're giving in the coronavirus times that we live in. So there's real practical usage to following accounts in an organised way.
And it's very easy to use, very easy to set up, short updates that are easily digestible. You can only have a certain amount of characters, so everything's quick and to the point. Instagram is our growing account, but something that we've only started recently. Lots of users, a younger age group of users, very simple to use. Everything's based around an image, so you must have an image or a video and then some text attached to it. But it does appeal to a wider audience, and I think we see the highest rates of interaction on there, really, don't we?
Yes, it certainly appeals to more women and girls as well, and a younger age group. And we know from looking at the insights and analytics functions on Twitter and Facebook that we're pretty good at reaching the male, stale, pale, above 35 to 55 audience. But we know that there's a whole lot more than that to cricket, particularly where cricket is growing. So Insta has helped us with that.
So the things that we do to enhance posts on Facebook, we try and keep things short. Although you can put an unlimited amount of text on there, we do try and keep things short. As you a post there from Simon last week, just one line and then the link to and then the information below. We have started using polls. This is taken from one of our coaches' Cricket Academy things. It's a good way of getting interaction. Just ask a simple question, then you normally get a debate that fills off in the comments below where someone doesn't agree with what the answer of someone else. And we always use an image or video. So really simple post here from Hampshire Cricket yesterday, just 2 words, couple of emojis, and then it sparked 24 comments, 95 post likes and interaction straight away. Twitter, you can probably post a bit more regularly on here. Do you agree with that, Simon?
Yes, I think first thing in the morning is a good one, even if perhaps you're resharing something from the previous evening. But one of the first things people do, the research shows now, is to check their phone and their social media. Obviously, a bit different now, but in work times, there's a bit of a lunchtime lull. So you can put a post with something like lunchtime reading or something like that. And then you're sort of into the evening. There's sort of three windows, really.
Again, use of polls really useful as a football. I couldn't find a cricket one on there, so I had to use a football one. And then use of hashtags. So hashtags are really important, because if people search, so there's the 3 words at the bottom there, social connections and the Sport England hashtag stay and work out. If anybody searches those anywhere in the world, it will bring up all the tweets that have mentioned those hashtags. So we might get picked up there by other people who haven't been following us. Instagram is all about the hashtags again, and I think this one post, it's very small, sorry, but if you look on there, you can see the hashtags. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hashtags that would get picked up. You've got to use clear, sharp images, and that's a great image there of the hot air balloons. And you've got to keep posts short, because again, viewing on a mobile, you can only see probably 2 lines of text, can't you?
That's right. I think, yes, we mentioned, didn't we, that the ability to sort of preview posts on Facebook is useful, because you can see how it's going to look, not only if you're posting from, say, a larger tablet or a laptop or a PC. The 90% of people will be looking at it on a device that's a fair bit smaller than that. So yes, getting your main message in early in the first couple of lines is crucial.
We have started to do, so we did a lot of these last summer, didn't we, events on Facebook?
Yes, I've just been looking at our stats. Obviously, it's been a little bit quiet maybe over the last month or so, but events, first of all, within Facebook, you can put up details about something that you're running and information about it, links to book onto that event as well, start a discussion about it, and then you can even turn the camera on and go live at that event. We haven't quite gone there yet, but more about that later. We may well be soon. In the past year, we've put 34 events on our Hampshire Cricket Board page. It has reached 20,000 people. There have been 2,500 responses, and 39 people have clicked through and booked onto those events in that time. So maybe not massive on the ticket clicks. Maybe we need to promote that a bit more, but certainly in getting news of those events out to other people and shared, that is starting to work for us, and something we could probably do a lot more of. Another great way is to stick all your events on there, and then there's your calendar.
Yeah, indeed, that's definitely helps with us, doesn't it? But I think it's also quite nice if someone, so if I signed up for an event and then it pops up on other people, all of my friends post that Rob is attending so and such event, and it kind of drives a bit of interest towards that event as well. People see, oh, Rob's going to that. Well, I'll have a click, see what that is, even if they've got no interest in it. But I think Southampton Football Club use it a lot, so I can always see when my friends have signed up or bought tickets for a game coming up in the future.
Yes, that can be really effective. So club social events or matches, yes, that's a great way of promoting any activity to a wider audience than just those who are organising or are going to know about it in the natural course of things. And
then live is interesting. Something we haven't really touched on. We've done a few. We did one last year, as you can see here, at the Quick Cricket Finals at the Ageas Bowl. And it's just once we set up the event, we were able to broadcast live, so parents, people at home could see who had won the finals. But I think it's something we need to do a little bit more of. I think it's good for clubs to maybe do in the build up to a match on a Saturday afternoon, a bit of behind the scenes action. Also during the match, lets people know what's happening during the match. Yes, I think moving images are more engaging than pictures, which are more engaging than just text. That's the way things are moving at the moment. We've got Facebook and Insta here where you can go live, and the two platforms sort of are related. And on Twitter, it's an app called Periscope as well, where and we've done a bit of that, but we can certainly do more. I think one thing, and for example, Kevin James at BBC Radio Solent, who would probably admit himself he's not the most tech savvy person, not on social media himself, but if he's presenting a game that's an 11 o'clock start, he'll go on and just do a quick 90 seconds about this is what the pitch is like, this is what I'd do if I won the toss, this is what the team news is looking like. Just a quick 90-second video to set things up. People now know on BBC Radio Solent that is coming on their social media channels, and that comes out even before he's on air. So it's a good way to stay in touch and get that news instantly and first. Something we've started doing again in the last year is promotions and adverts, and we only really do them on Facebook. I think we need to explore a little bit of how to do them on Instagram and on Twitter as well, but I use them a lot for for All Stars, and it would have been for Dynamos, just because if we're trying to raise awareness of a product and it only goes to the people who follow you, who probably already have awareness, we try and expose the post to as many people as possible and get it a bit wider than the cricket community. So that's what an advert can do. You can expose your ad to as many people as in your audience. You can select the audience. We use it to try and drive traffic to a specific web page. So we have a click to sign up to All Stars on there, and also or to a messenger conversation. And as I say, it can engage with a wider audience. So you can choose your specific audience. You can specify the locations that they live in. You can be as specific as saying, I only want to go to people who live in Winchester and in a 5-mile radius, for example. You can specify the age. So if you only want it to go to people aged between 40 and 50, and then you only want it to go to people who have listed on their interests as cricket or family or something like that, or they've shown interest in posts. Something much more clever than us, the algorithm works out how to do that. You can then set your budget, and it's really important with the budget to start off very small. So a £10 advert would last a couple of weeks and reach 4,000 or 5,000 people that you wouldn't have spoken to before. So a little bit of money can go quite a long way depending on the audience that you choose. And then it's to create the advert and make sure it's got media attached, a video ideally, if not then a photo, but one of those two. And one other thing is to let the post grow organically, and if it does get good interaction, then boost it, then set it as an advert, and it will go even further. But it's again something we've played around with, Simon, but we need to explore a little bit more.
I think so, and I think it was a bit of a stage for us to cross, and to be honest, we probably had a bit of trouble getting it past the boss from a budget point of view, which I understand. But then on the other side of things, you've got to look at how much would it cost you to print 4,000 flyers and distribute those to the houses surrounding your cricket club's ground. How much time would that take? The research shows that flyers are a pretty ineffective way now of communicating. Just think about the amount of stuff you get through your door. Anyway, it's the same as sort of junk emails. Emails as well are probably not as effective and not as viewed because of the amount of volume there is. So a targeted ad is something that can actually be effective, both in terms of return and certainly cost effective. Final thing is the stories. Again, this is even newer to us, so we're trying to do these as well. The Instagram stories are viewed by 500 million people a day globally, so it's a massive amount of people viewing this, and they allow you to be a bit more creative with your posts. You can add colors, stickers, text, filters, hashtags, music, little smiley faces and things like that. The only trouble is they only last 24 hours, so this is the only one I could find to put on here, and it's not probably the most creative, but it's a really good example of linking. So this is a video from Chance to Shine that we wanted to link. So really simple post, Chance to Shine, tells you where the video is. So we link it to other notable accounts. The key thing to note here is only visible for 24 hours. It will disappear after 24 hours. So don't put anything that you want to stay on there. You would then have to put that into your main profile. Out on Insta, you can also group posts together in things called highlights. So that's basically themes. So we might have one on COVID-19. We might have one on, we do have one on COVID-19. We have one on, say, stay in workout. We do one for like particular competitions as well. And it's important to stress that the viewership of the consumption of social media is really on the increase in during lockdown. So we've found that our tweets are being seen by about 45% more people. In terms of Facebook, our posts are being seen by 125% more people. Our stories have doubled. We've started using those stories available in Facebook and Insta. Our videos, we've had 30,000 views of our videos, so that's an 8-fold increase. YouTube is something we need to kind of start looking at a bit, but we've had a 4-fold increase in the number of our views. And Insta, we've increased about sort of 2.5 times the reach of our posts. So going up from about 600 accounts a month ago, 600 accounts a week ago, to 1,600 going up from, say, about 3,000 views of the post to 7,500, and that's just in the past week. People in these times of physical isolation, then kind of the social connection through social networks is becoming, ever more crucial. And as Rob, you rightly say, the stories on Facebook and Insta are things we are starting to get into and to use. The other thing to say as well is, don't be discouraged on a new thing if your audience starts small, because it will grow if you post at sort of normal, habitual times that people get used to see it come. People will subliminally start to expect it and gravitate towards your to what you're putting out there, and you will start to grow organically, and then your reach organically, and then that's the time to then consider boosting posts with adverts, which are available over Facebook, Twitter, and Insta.
So I think just a little bit about the perfect post. I mean, we probably don't know the perfect post, but we've had a bit of training on the few things you should put into a post to make it the most, increase the possibility of it being enhanced. So pick the right time, as Simon just said. Try and be consistent, but also pick the time when you think people are going to be looking at your thing. The best post in the world might get ignored if it's not seen by anybody. Be positive. So there's a lot of negativity on social media, so be positive, focus on things that are going to help your club grow, celebrate milestones, highlight great reviews, and then funny things always go down as well. Use an images, videos are always more likely to catch people's attentions as they scroll through social media. We all probably do this. We scroll through very quickly and we stop occasionally on things of interest. So you're very unlikely to stop just for text. So use a photo, use a video if possible. Include a call to action. As we said about the All-Stars before, if we're going to have a post, then it's really important that the link to be able to sign up to All-Stars is there, and that's preferably goes at the bottom of the post. Be informative. Is your post going to benefit your followers, or is it just something that interests you? That's probably something we have to consider as well, Simon, isn't it?
Certainly. I think it's the case that you should always be speaking on behalf of your club. Things that jump out are where people say, I think, or we, or whereas actually, is that an individual's views, or is it the views of the actual account? You were representing the account when you were posting, and as we know from sort of famous instances, they are, while it's an instant medium, they are there permanently. So you need to post with thought and care, which sort of brings me on to my next point, is that it is worth, however simple, of actually having a plan as to when you do stuff. So, for example, we know that our updates will tend to come out on Tuesday for our coronavirus frequently asked questions page. We've been looking to post a video from one of our coaches every Thursday, and those have got really good interaction. We need to put something out over the weekend, which might be a quiz, which lasts for a few days. And we know at the start of the week, we will share content from people like Chance to Shine or Hampshire School Games officers for sort of skills challenges and staying active during the week. So we've got ourselves kind of a little timetable, and we've been at that for probably about a month now. And what we're expecting to see is increased engagement because people roughly know when stuff is coming at them.
We've already mentioned making it mobile friendly, but it's a really important thing to consider. It might look beautiful on your PC or on your tablet, but it's just being missed on a mobile. So always use the mobile preview section of a post.
Or just reduce the size of the window down as well.
Yeah.
So if you have a full window, reduce it to about half to get to tablet and make it even smaller and portrait as opposed to landscape on your to see what it will look like on a phone. If that particular posting facility doesn't have a preview facility, you can do it yourself.
And then just finally, the tag and hashtag, really important to tag other accounts, because that's where they then see the post and they might share it, but also use the hashtags because that will be picked up by people who might not have seen your post anyway. Hashtags don't really work on Facebook, but they do on Twitter and on Instagram. You can go hashtag mad. You can put as many on there as you like, more the better. That's it from us. I think hopefully you've seen a few things that might help and enhance your posts. We are going to do a Facebook Live event just in the celebration of being proactive on social media. A Facebook Live event this Friday at 2 p.m. So please come along and join in. It won't really work if no one joins us. So come and ask some questions about social media, but also, Simon, I guess you'd welcome any questions about anything at this time.
Absolutely. We're all working from home at the moment, so we're welcoming contact with other members of the human race, even if it is virtually. And maybe between now and then you can think about maybe your club's social media and look at kind of the rule of thirds, where a third of content is original, a third might be designed to engage, so a third information, a third to engage people with what you're posting, and a third can be shared from other people to engage as well. So have a little think about that and think about how you could maybe apply that over the next 48 hours. And we hope to see you at 2 p.m. on Friday, the 1st of May.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Simon. And speak to you soon. Take care.
Bye.